Now we're going to get a better understanding of Turkey's war on terror and the complicated, very complicated battlefield that we're talking about. Faraz Gerges joins us now to dissect a few maps of the region. He's Professor of Middle Eastern Politics and International Relations at the London School of Economics and Political Science, just around the corner. First of all, we want to look at this area of northern Syria. We've got this dotted line. It's what they're calling a safe zone. Just explain what they're trying to do here.
Well, reportedly there's an agreement, Max, between the United States and Turkey about establishing a 60-mile safe zone. The idea behind the safe zone is to clear the 60 miles, to clear ISIS or Daesh fighters and replace them with Syrian opposition. If you ask me, what is it in it for Turkey? Turkey has three major objectives. First, it wants to get rid of the ISIS fighters on its borders. It wants to prevent the establishment of a contiguous Kurdish regions. Look at the safe zone. That basically, it prevents the Kurds from having a contiguous region in the whole. And thirdly, of course, it wants to speed up the process of ousting the Syrian president Bashar al-Assad. This is what Turkey wants, and the United States has obviously reluctantly accepted a limited free zone as opposed to a larger and wider free zone that Turkey wanted.
So it's a compromise. You pointed out the Kurdish areas here and here. What does it mean for them?
This is the major question, the major challenge facing both, the United States, Turkey has joined the international coalition. If you tell me what's the most potent and skilled fighting force in Syria, what would it be?
It would be the Kurds.
For the last year or so, the Kurds have basically defeated ISIS in Kobani, in Tel Abyad. They have captured almost 200 villages. They are really an ideal local force.
But separate groups of Kurds as well, because that's complicated in itself. We're not talking PKK, right?
So the question is, on the table, will there be a kind of a compromise, coordination between the United States and Turkey and the Syrian opposition on the one hand, and the Kurdish forces? Or will we see now basically the fracturing of the local fighting force inside Syria?
Now, we've seen Turkish forces hit these PKK targets, haven't we? And we've had some video about that as well. And they're not just attacking ISIS. That's the point here. And that's what's really complicating things. How do you think this is going to actually affect the fight against ISIS?
Well, again, you're asking really a critical question. Turkey basically views ISIS through the same lens it views the PKK.
They are terrorists.
They are terrorists, including some of the Kurds who are fighting ISIS inside Syria. The Americans and the Europeans are saying, look, to Turkey, you have the right to basically defend your interests, but don't basically compare ISIS to the PKK. Don't use excessive force. Show restraints. Because if you take on the Kurds inside, inside Turkey, and inside Syria, you're going to have a security problem inside Turkey itself. And you have a peace process for the last 2 years. There was an insurgency in Turkey between the PKK and the Turkish government. It lasted for 30 years. Thousands of people were killed and injured. So this is what the international is saying to President Erdogan and the leadership inside Turkey. Take on ISIS. Welcome to the coalition, the US-led coalition. You have the right to defend yourself against some terrorists, Kurdish terrorists, the PKK, but don't basically undermine the peace process that has been in place for the last 2 years.
It shows what a complicated web of relationships there is across that region.
Really complicated. And that's why ISIS is using and manipulating the tensions and the contradictions in the US-led coalition.
Faraz, as ever, thank you very much indeed.